Good, Chris?
Yep.
You could, since you're the reporting
Okay.
takeaway, then I have a couple of things.
All right, I
but
just
you
have
may
a
hit them
couple of
all.
notes jotted down here.
Definitely.
First off, why was it important for you to come to Pittsburgh for tonight's Human Rights Dinner?
Well, I think it's important that we, first of all, continue the work of the NAACP. Though I lead National Action Network, I think the whole civil rights community needs to be together at these times when we're facing so many setbacks by this administration in voting rights, in criminal justice, including police brutality, where we watched from around the country what happened here with Antoine. And I think that it is also important in terms of the economic race gap. The economy is doing well, but blacks are still doubly unemployed to whites. And I think that we need to continue to fight together. And we should not despair because we are seeing some, in my opinion, dark days under this president.
There were some local activists and plenty of people in the African American community who were upset whenever the verdict in the shooting death of the trial of the officer in the Antoine Rose case, when the verdict was that he was found not guilty. What would you say to people in this community who were upset by that verdict? People who had done a lot of activism and then felt like it was a letdown.
They've got to keep fighting, and they cannot let one case stop them from reforming the laws and accountability. We fight in the Eric Garner case in New York. We just won the Jones case in Florida. There are fights around us all over the country that we've been in the forefront of. So you have got to understand it took 9 years from the Montgomery bus boycott to get the Civil Rights Act in '64. You don't go by one case, you go by what the cause is. What happened to Rose is atrocious. And to let that police officer go with that kind of evidence seems unjustifiable. But so was Trayvon, and so were others. We cannot fight and quit. We've got to keep fighting, otherwise we're all at risk.
Was that your main message to the people when you were helping them get through those rough times? Because the process is always the roughest, right? So was that message was to keep fighting? What else did you
The
tell
process was the roughest, and I tell them to keep fighting and that at the end we'll win. One of the honors in my life is I spoke at Rosa Parks' funeral. Suppose if Rosa Parks had given up, we'd still probably be in the back of the bus. Suppose if Dr. King had given up. I just spoke in South Africa a few months ago. Mandela did 27 years in jail. So freedom fighting does not mean you're going to win every battle, but it means you win the war if you fight every battle. And that's what I would always tell the families and tell people in National Action Network that we're doing the marching, is that we have got to be prepared for some temporary defeats, believing in the end we're going to win because right is on our side.
I want to switch gears real quick to politics. So Joe Biden was here. We know that there's a thick Democratic race coming, as far as all the candidates. What do you think is the front runner, and what is your opinions?
I mean, at this point, the polls have Joe Biden, but it's very early. I've talked to Joe Biden. I had most of the candidates at our National Action Network convention just 5 weeks ago. And I think that the reality is you had the most diverse field of candidates that we've ever seen and the largest field. The question is, people are going to judge them by what they stand for and whether their record validates that they're not saying this now, but this is something they've done through their lives. And I think that people need to be deliberate and intentional in how they vote. And at the end, make sure we turn this country back around. I worked closely with the Obama administration on things like policing and criminal justice reform and the economy and the health care bill. This president has tried to turn all of that another way. So we need to keep our eye on the prize. I think that Donald Trump represents a backlash, and we need to be able to back up the backlash.
And you mentioned economy. The numbers are looking good. What do you have to say to those who feel that he can take credit for that, so to speak?
Well, the downward spiral of unemployment started under Barack Obama. The economy was going out the window. Obama saved the economy, recovered it, and average 200,000 jobs a month was being added. So Donald Trump inherited an economy already headed in the right direction and acted like he invented it. He inherited it and was criticizing Obama when Obama did it. But the question is, he's not addressed the race gap. We're still doubly unemployed. So if unemployment is at 3% and we're at 6%, we still are doubly more unemployed than anyone else. How do you close that gap without an intentional plan to deal with the racial gap? And he's not even addressed that.
What did you think about Trump honoring Tiger Woods at the White House?
I think that Tiger Woods bouncing back is a good thing. And I don't disagree that he had a phenomenal career. And they go back. They have business interests they've done together. I know Donald Trump for 35 years. I marched on him, fought him, then he's acted like a liberal sometime and has come to our events. Donald Trump is transactional. Some of us are transformative.
Thanks for your time tonight.
Thank you. All right, no problem. No problem.
Is in here, Steve? Okay, there we go. Sorry.
You got it.
Can you grab that, Steve?
Here we go. I'm just grab by the cable and fish it right out. All right, you're free. Thank you.
Thank you.